Melbourne is starting to boom again. And if you've been sitting on the sidelines, now's the time to get on the train. But here's the twist. Unlike most other states, Victoria has done a surprisingly good job of keeping up the housing demand. There's been new developments everywhere, cranes across the skylines, and entire new estates popping up across the west and southeast of Melbourne. So if you're looking for high growth investment opportunities, you can't just buy blindly. You've got to dig into the data and find areas that work. Today, I'll break down my top 3 areas to invest in Melbourne right now, all backed by real numbers and on-the-ground results. Let's kick things off with Melbourne's west, the Brimbank Council area, specifically Deer Park and Albanvale. Now, these suburbs are only 20 kilometers from the CBD, but prices are still sitting in the high 600s or even the low 700s, which is incredible value for this proximity to the city. Here's why we like it. It's an older, fully built pocket, meaning there's limited new supply, and stock on market is also consistently low, sitting at around 1%, which screams to us scarcity. And get this, in the last 3 months alone, prices have jumped more than 6% in some of these pockets. That is crazy momentum. The catch? Well, the yields. You're looking at 3% or maybe early 4s, so it's not amazing, but it's manageable. This is a short window play. Prices are likely to move faster than the rents, so yields will compress. But if you're chasing capital growth, this is one of Melbourne's most underrated inner west plays. Next up, the Casey Council region, and in particular, Cranbourne and its surrounding suburbs. This area has always been a solid performer, and it's starting to run again. Even with homes now regularly selling in $700,000 to $750,000 range, you can still get rental yields around 4%, which is very strong for this side of the town. Here's what to keep in mind though. Avoid the southern and far eastern pockets. There is a wave of new supply coming in that area. Instead, look closer into the commercial centers or the western pockets of Cranbourne, where infrastructure and demand are strongest. We've already seen increasing buyer demand and multiple offer situations returning to open homes. At this rate, I wouldn't be surprised if the median price here pushes past $1 million in just a few years' time. Cranbourne has the perfect combination of livability, infrastructure, affordability, and momentum. Finally, let's turn our heads to Frankston. Now, yes, it's heating up fast. This suburb still offers incredible mix of lifestyle and capital growth. You're close to the water, near major hospitals and education hubs, and there's new investment flowing into the Frankston Hospital precinct that's driving local jobs and long-term demand. Prices are already moving into the high 700s and even early 800s. So the window is very tight, but if you act quickly and structure a sharp offer, it's still possible to secure something solid. A few words of caution though. Avoid pockets with high concentrations of social housing. Focus on streets closer to the water or transport links. There'll always be stronger resale values and tenant demand. Frankston is a perfect example of a suburb that ticks lifestyle, infrastructure, and affordability, but only for now. The window is closing very, very quickly. So to recap, our top 3 picks for Melbourne investment in 2026 under the $800,000 mark are Brimbank Council, Deer Park Albanvale, with limited supply, strong capital growth potential. Secondly, Casey Council, so Cranbourne and surrounds, balancing both yield and growth. And finally, Frankston, for its lifestyle-driven approach and also infrastructure tailwinds. Melbourne is in the early stages of its next growth cycle, but like every market, there will be winners, and investors who are able to get in before the headlines are those who will be able to make great results and not wait for the hype. At Handle Properties, we buy over 20 high-performing investment properties every single month, including over 10 properties in Melbourne every month as well. Our team does everything end-to-end: strategy, property selection, due diligence, inspections, tenant onboarding, all so you can scale faster and smarter. If you're thinking about investing in Melbourne or want to know which areas fit your strategy, reach out. We'll help you make the right move whilst others are still thinking about it. And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, or drop your suburb questions below. We read every comment.